I'm going to keep this straightforward because I know a lot of people feel a little nervous when they're looking at a salon station that promises to do it all. You want to know if it'll really fit in your space, if the storage actually helps you stay organized, and whether the price matches the day-to-day experience. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and I'll walk you through the things that mattered most when I dug into what the DIR Salon double-side styling station actually delivers. First off, the biggest hesitation I hear from stylists and salon owners is about the footprint. A double-sided station sounds like it could dominate a tiny room, and if you're running a home-based setup or a boutique with limited floor space, you need to be sure the unit won't feel like a permanent obstacle. The DIR model is designed with a compact footprint in mind. The cabinets and drawers wrap neatly around the central mirror, and because the whole thing is a single block, you don't have to worry about a bunch of separate pieces taking up extra room. In practice, I've seen it squeezed into a 10 by 12-foot salon corner without blocking the flow of traffic, which is a real win if you're trying to maximize usable chairs. The next practical question is about daily usability. Does the layout actually make your work faster, or does it just look good on paper? On each side of the mirror, there are hot tool holders, which means you can keep your curling irons, straighteners, and dryers within arm's reach whether you're working on a client's left side or right side. That eliminates the little but constant shuffle of reaching across the station to grab a tool, a time saver that adds up over a busy day. The large cabinets and drawers are deep enough to hold bundles of hair extensions, color bowls, and product lines without you having to stack things on top of each other. I've watched stylists pull a set of foils from the lower drawer while still keeping a spray bottle on the top shelf, and the separation feels natural rather than forced. Now, let's talk about the LED mirror. The illumination is subtle, not the harsh flood you sometimes get from cheaper stations. It's bright enough to see fine color details when you're doing highlights, yet soft enough that you don't have to squint after a few minutes of cutting. For someone who spends hours in front of a mirror, that kind of balanced lighting reduces eye strain, which is a practical benefit you don't see in a spec sheet. In a real-world scenario, a stylist was able to transition from a morning cut to an evening updo without swapping out lights or adjusting the mirror angle, which saved a few minutes per client and kept the vibe consistent. One of the hidden trade-offs that shows up after you actually set the unit up is the weight and mobility. Because the cabinetry is fully assembled right out of the box, there's no need to spend a weekend building it. But the unit does sit on a solid base that makes it fairly heavy. If you ever need to rearrange your salon layout, you'll likely need a couple of extra hands or a dolly to move it. That's not a deal breaker for a permanent installation, but it's something to keep in mind if you're renting a space and anticipate moving in a year or two. Value for money is another big question. The DIR Salon double-side styling station sits at a price point that's higher than a single-sided, no LED counterpart, but you're getting two workstations, built-in storage on both sides, and the LED mirror all in one package. The one-year warranty that comes with all DIR products also adds a safety net. You're not left completely on your own if a hinge or a light strip fails within the first year. For a salon that needs two stations but doesn't have the budget for two separate pieces of furniture, this all-in-one design can actually be more cost-effective than buying a basic station and then retrofitting lighting and storage later. Who should definitely consider this unit? If you run a small to medium salon with limited floor space, need two workstations for back-to-back appointments, and want your tools organized without extra carts cluttering the floor, this is a solid match. It also works well for freelance stylists who operate out of a home studio and need a tidy, professional-looking setup that can double as a client-facing display. The LED mirror makes it easy to showcase your work on social media because the lighting looks natural on camera, which is a bonus if you're trying to market yourself. On the other hand, there are a few scenarios where you might want to look elsewhere. If you already have ample space and prefer a more modular approach, perhaps you want to move a station to a new spot every few months. The weight and fixed footprint could feel restrictive. Also, if you're only looking for a single workstation, you're paying for a second side you'll never use, which